uncovering the secrets they hide. From virtual reality to battle royale, he breaks it down with no denial. Uploaded, ready to play. The GamezAttack podcast leading the way. Old freaky gamer, rocking the scene, talking video games, living the dream. Gaming happening across the land, from console wars to the PC stand. Mr. Mike in the captain's chair.
That's me.
He just don't care.
Hit the wrong button, folks. Still working out my thing. Yeah, baby. Let's see here if I can get the right. Yeah, baby. Woo. Oh, yeah, that's me. Welcome one and all to the GamezAttack podcast here on OldFreakyGamer.com. This is episode 29, as I call this episode Xbox Why? Yeah. I gotta figure out how to talk and all that in front of this new theme song. I like it. I like AI up to a point, folks. You know, I'm all about Skynet taking over the world. You know, I think we need a computer, self-aware computer infrastructure to take us all over, because we can't do shit ourselves. We're very bad for ourselves. Human beings are the worst things to happen to this planet. Yes, that's what I think. That's how you start a show, right? A podcast about video games, talking about let Skynet take over the planet. Yeah, I think the robot overlords will do a better job than human beings. I hate to say it. No, I don't. Because, you know what, they'll favor me. I know they will, because, you know, I'm a big AI geek, so but like I said, AI music for at least theme songs and stuff. I think that's good. So welcome everybody. If you didn't understand this theme song, I tried to bump up the sound too, because I remember on the last one that I did, it was kind of quiet, and if I can't hear it in my headset or my eardrum, Bluetooth headsets, while I'm listening to, you know, my own self a little bit sometimes to see how bad my shitty voice is, because I just want to go, I wish I had somebody else's voice. I wish I had a good voice to talk about on this podcast. Like, I could talk like this, but that would be just kind of weird. Anywho, this is a video game podcast. I don't really give a shit about myself. Video games is what I talk about. I talk about the industry, the ups, and as of today's podcast, it's gonna be a lot of downs, but we're gonna have some ups. I'm gonna bring some positivity, folks, to this this podcast about video games. Yes, I said this about a million times. If you didn't know already, I am Mr. Mike, the leader, the commander-in-chief, the founder, the owner, the main man, the only man of OldFreakyGamer.com, which is a website you can go to look at my videos and subscribe to my free podcast, the GamezAttack podcast, which you're listening to or watching right now. You can also go to youtube.com/OldFreakyGamer for all those videos and video part of the podcast as well. I do streaming on Friday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern time on youtube.com/OldFreakyGamer, or you could go to twitch.tv/OldFreakyGamer as well, or you could just go to OldFreakyGamer.com if you just want to watch it. It's a YouTube stream, live stream, but you know, I also host it on my website as well, because why not? If you're at my website and you want to go look up and you're searching around at 8 p.m. Eastern time, that's when I live stream. And then the videos always go after the fact of the live stream. I usually post them mostly on Saturdays if I'm not super busy and stuff. This upcoming, this past Friday, because I am recording this podcast ahead of time, This is one of my very rare-ish ahead of time podcasts, even though I would like to do podcasting ahead of time most of the time. But I got stuff going on this weekend again. Home-based stuff. I got minor construction. I'll talk about it in a sec. It involves the video and the podcast and my office here and stuff. I also, wanted to get it done ahead of time because why not? It's always good to do. And we got a lot of new gaming stuff to talk about and news and stuff. So, yeah, let's get it down there to that fact. So, but as you're listening to this podcast right now, I just did this Fallout 76 Game On live show on last Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern. This upcoming Friday, I don't know yet because this is I'm actually doing this podcast ahead of time, more so ahead of time than I would normally. So I have no clue right as of this second on what I might want to play next Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. As I'm talking to you guys, which I'm recording this on a Wednesday, the 8th? This is already the 8th of May. May Day. It is the 8th of May. I'm currently almost at the end. I got one more day, Thursday. So once a year, and this is and I know this ain't video game related, and I always said I'm not going to talk about anything not video game related. But hey, why not? You're gonna know this anyways, because why not talk a little bit about myself? Like I should do a little bit more of. But once a year, I started doing a little cleansing, cleansing of the body, the soul. Get out some toxins and keep in the good, get out the bad, let some bad cells get demolished and stuff. Basically, I'm on a 4-day fasting. So no food, no nothing except for water, or like I have in here, my vitamin water, which I got some vitamin drink in here. I got that. It's called Energize or something, or Energizer. I think it's Energize or something it's called. Something Energize. And it's a little packet of vitamins, minerals, and stuff, and you pour them into your water, and you shake it up and drink it. It gives you your vitamin A through Z, whatever, this, that. And that's the only thing I'm drinking, water and that. Like I said, the reason I'm doing it, it's not all about weight loss, even though I am trying to still lose this weight, but it'll never happen in a million years, I'm sure of it, because that's just not how I am. But it's for health cleanse that I want to do once a year. I know it's not the most, a lot of people says it's dangerous. A lot of people say it's doesn't work, or it does work. There's a lot of things, and health places have came out with studies saying, oh, fasting does more harm than good and all that. But you know what? You can't believe everybody nowadays. Nowadays, you got to take everything with a grain of salt, because people have been doing fasting for centuries. And I watched some stuff where some people were fasting for a long time, and they're still healthy as a horse, and they feel great, and they're still very active people. And I'm like, once a year, I want to do at least a 4-day cleanse. I wanted to do Friday too, but I'm like, no, I'm never going to make it 5 days. 4 days, I hear, is the optimal. And plus, I started early on Sunday for fasting anyway, so I ate some stuff during Sunday. Well, I ate a lot of stuff. Let's just call it what it is. I pigged out on Sunday, but at the end of Sunday, which was a bunch of hours, I didn't eat nothing. I just drank water and stuff and fluids, and that was it. So you can say Sunday afternoon, night, I started this fasting thing a little bit, even though you got to wait till all the food comes out of the body. And I just do it because I hear a lot of interesting stuff about it, like it can kill bad cells in your body because it's taking away all the sugars and grains and stuff that causes like maybe cancer cells and stuff. And it helps reboot a lot of your system to eat off its reserves more, and helps you maintain a lot of stuff. It reboots a lot of body parts inside your body, I hear. And I'm like thinking, yeah, that makes some sense. And like I said, I've seen a bunch of people do it. I hear, I take the advice into it. And a lot of these people do this fasting a lot. They do it a lot, way more than I would ever do. And like I said, they do it a lot more. I'm just going to do it once a year and see how it goes for the future. Maybe it'll prevent some stuff. Maybe it prevents Alzheimer's. They say a lot of stuff, but who knows? Because there's studies here and there, and not everybody's on the same page. It's just like weed, marijuana and stuff, and weed. A lot of people, smoke it. A lot of people say it's the best thing for you. A lot of people says it can be harmful for you. And then there's the middle people that say we don't know either or. And I don't know either or. I think I hear a lot of stuff that it's good to smoke, weed and marijuana if you got cancer and stuff, or if it helps prevent some stuff. It's something natural. If it's just purely natural out of the ground, it should be okay. Not this new strain stuff that people are creating where they do add stuff to it. But, pure weed, pure strain of, natural marijuana and stuff, I don't know. I have no bad feelings about it. Would you rather smoke weed or cigarettes that cause cancer? I don't hear too many people getting cancer from smoking weed. I even looked it up many times. I know you got Snoop Dogg and Willie Nelson themselves smoking so much weed. And look at Willie Nelson. He's old as shit and he's still alive today. Knock on fake wood here and watch he'll kick the bucket the next day after this podcast. And I'll be like, oh shit. Or if Snoop Dogg kicks the bucket or something. But they smoke a lot of joints and they're just fine. They're very productive. They're very rich. So yeah, I'd say it's just something I do once a year. A little bit, I do this before like a month or so, which this is a month or so before I take my vacation in June, before the I should say the summer showcase or June showcases start up. Also, I plan, I just do it because it's health. I feel a bit better. The last times I did it, it was a little harder on me. I didn't know what to expect. That was my body was like, whoa, what are you doing? And now I'm feeling a little bit chiller. I'm in like my third day now. I'm on Wednesday, my third full day. Got one more day, Thursday tomorrow. And then Friday I can start eating and I'm gonna eat some stuff. I'm not gonna eat too much, but I'm gonna eat enough so I'm like, okay, let's get the eating back on because I love to eat. And I just bought a whole bunch of groceries today, a bunch of meats and this and that, and because I love food, folks. I just try not to get too fat, I love to cook. I love to eat. I do love to work out, but I haven't been working out for a while. I think I worked out once, and I was going to work out this week, but I've been very busy, as you'll be able to tell when I talk about video games. Haven't been playing much video games either because I've just been very, very busy. But I've been playing a few, trying out a few. Hopefully this weekend, if I have some extra time, I want to get back into some stuff like Hellblade because the new Hellblade 2 is going to be coming out soon, and I really want to try out the first Hellblade more. I've played a bunch of Hellblade. I got to play more of it. But also I got other games I want to finish too that I'm still slagging on, and that would be some stuff like I'm trying to say Yakuza 7 or something. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. I'm still doing the Dundoku thing, but I haven't done it for a while, so I've been slagging on it. I just want to get the 5 stars on my island, complete the Dundoku Island stuff, and then I can call that game a done. Then I could call it a done. But I stopped playing it because I started playing some other stuff, and I stopped playing it, so it's on me. Just like the other 2 games, Evil West, I'm super far into Evil West. Stop playing it. I got to play it, start it up again, play it, and beat it. I got to focus. But like I said, I've been doing it some other stuff. Other games have been coming out. it's hard for a man of my person to finish stuff like that, games and stuff, because I'll go on to other stuff, but I really do want to finish those games. Another game that I probably might or might not finish, that would be the, I keep thinking, it's the Ace Attorney trilogy, what's his name? Ace Phoenix Wright. There you go. Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney trilogy. There we go. I'm slowly getting my brain together. See, I think I can remember stuff a little bit better when I'm not eating and my brain's eating itself. And it's like, ooh, how about this memory? Yum, 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 yum. Yeah, so the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney trilogy, I haven't touched that in over a month. And I'm in the middle of the fourth case? Third? There's a lot of cases. And they're very, very long. And, oh boy, they're just, it's a fun thing, but I don't know. Will I ever complete the Ace Attorney trilogy? I don't know. I'm trying. And I know they got the new Phoenix, not the Phoenix Wright, they got the second Phoenix Wright trilogy, but who's it called? Ace, I forgot who it was. It was the other dude. Apollo Justice? Is that what it is? Apollo Justice trilogy or something? Is that what it's called from the Ace Phoenix trilogy? Well, something around that. But I don't know if I'll ever get into that. But certain games I should play, clean up with. But then I'm like a little dog or something, or a cat or something, or some kind of animal where I'm going, oh, well, over there. Oh, over there. Over there. Look at that game. Oh, I finally got my ROMs working on my emulators on my ROG Ally, so I'm playing Fortune Street. Oh, yeah, Fortune Street is a great game. I am definitely going to do a Fortune Street stream or something one day. That's a good idea. Maybe that might be the next game I put on Game On or something. I'll try to play a whole full game of Fortune Street, which takes a long time. Now, mind you, playing the legit way for me is the hard way, but maybe I'll do that. I don't know. That sounds like a good idea. If I can get that, I don't know if I should try to get it up and running off the PC, or if I should try to do it off my ROG Ally. I'll have to think about it. But that's something that comes to mind. That's something that's. But anywho, yes, I've been playing games, but they've been a little lacking on my side because I've just been like super busy with work. A lot of things going on at work, a lot of things going on at home because of the nice weather, semi-nice weather, semi-nice going into nice weather. It's been good weather, so I've been doing a lot of outdoor stuff. I've been doing a lot of house stuff, renovating this, doing all the lawn care, this, that. I don't pay people to do that. I do that myself. A lot of other game people, and I'm sure a lot of these streamers and people in the games, journalists, should I say, or journalists out there that do this for an actual living and not just a fun hobby that I do myself. They have people that do that. I doubt that half these people mow their lawns. I should question. I should write in a question and say, hey, you guys do all this blah blah blah. Like like the Giant Bomb Crew. You got Jeff Gersman. He's a solo guy and he does it for a job. You got the Nextlander people. I would think Vinny Caravello might do his own grass. I don't think he has the money for that. I think Alex too, Alex Navarro, but. I know Brad Shoemaker doesn't have no lawn because he lives in an apartment, which probably has some grass, but they do it themselves, so he doesn't definitely have to do it. But other people that live in their own places, do they really do their own lawn care and do their own stuff and de-weed and put out flowers, do this and that? I don't know. I don't think so. I know a lot of regular YouTube streamers and stuff. I highly doubt they have time to do that if they're always doing stuff for their channels and this and that. Me, because I'm not making money from none of this stuff, and I always say this on my podcast or videos and stuff, I don't make money from any of this stuff. You might think I do, folks, but I do not. I put a lot of production work in, I do a lot of this crazy stuff, but it's all free. It's all me just doing a hobby. I don't even sell t-shirts yet, and I was thinking about selling t-shirts, but I don't know. I'll wait. But I do make, I do drawings and stuff. I can make t-shirts and stuff eventually. I usually wear my OldFreakyGamer t-shirt, but because it's a little warm in here, I'm just wearing my muscle shirt. But I draw up some shit here. I shouldn't even. I don't know why I'm going into this, but I do some drawings. I got my drawing book. I don't think you can see this here. This is great podcast work. There you go. I do drawings. I like to draw. I like to create stuff, hence why I create these videos and podcasts. That's the thing I like to do for hobby-wise. I like to be a creator. And because I like video games so much and the entertainment that video games provide, I like to do the entertainment. So like I said, I don't make no money from this stuff. This is freebie stuff for everybody. So, I do got a life, which I do. So things happen. Like over this week, I didn't do a Let's Play or anything. I don't even think I did a Let's Play last week. Did I do a Let's Play last week? I think I did that Fallout 4 Let's Play. Okay. This week, I didn't do one. Hopefully, I can do one for next week. Or as you're listening to this upcoming Wednesday for you guys. I like to put out Let's Plays on Wednesdays, but it depends. It depends on what's going on at work and at home and if I got enough time. But this weekend, I want to try to play some games, get some good, focused gaming time in, have some fun. It depends on how everything else goes. Like I said, got a house, got stuff to do at the house. I just ordered new windows for my house. I had a window guy come in. He's coming in tomorrow as well to do some final measurements for my windows that I'm getting from my house on Thursday. And like I said, been doing a lot of outdoor lawn and housework and put up a bunch of stuff. I got my deck porch all decked out. Let's just say it's all ready to go. I got more outdoor lights coming in soon. I got to do some garage work as well. Inside the garage, I got to put up new lighting in the garage because the lighting I had has started to get really shitty. Don't ever buy cheap LED lights, people. At least, ones for the garage because they don't last, apparently. You would think, like, LED light strips that are being just hanging in the ceiling area of your garage would work forever and never fail, but they start to fail when they're starting to flash and stuff. So I have to replace that stuff and, a lot of stuff. But I am going to try to get in as much gaming, try to get a lot of gaming time in this week, especially if it rains. If it rains this weekend, which they do call for, which I don't believe them because they said it was going to rain today. Kind of rained today. Yes, last night as I was talking to you about this, but I don't believe the weather. The weather people don't do good weather anymore, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I really want to play do some real gaming this week, and that's my main focus. Like clean up on some games, play some other games, have some fun on other games. Also, which I'm gonna do this weekend, Saturday. This is one of those things, but it's for my office. It's for the podcast, and I'm sure if you read the show notes, I just bought a new gaming desk. Well, it's more than a gaming desk. It's a gaming desk. It's a big L-shaped desk, I would have to say. It's supposed to be a really big L-shaped desk. It's supposed to be semi bigger than what I have set up now. My desk situation now is a little cluttered. I got this old computer desk here. It's kind of worn its welcome a bit. This new one's supposed to be really nice, really big, really sturdy. I'm going to keep this other table, this glass table I have here. I'm going to incorporate it with the desk as well. So I'm going to also try to situate, what should I say? I'm going to move around some stuff in my office. I'm going to move my production around this office. First, I got to clean the office too, because I'm going to vacuum. I'm going to mop the office hardwood floors here. I'm going to remove some stuff, add some stuff, and I'm going to move like my production stuff in a different way. So it might look different a little different. Because I got plans. I got plans for this office and the podcasting and all that stuff. I know I don't got, and I just noticed now I don't have my green screen all the way. Because I just noticed I got my little water thing over there showing. But I got plans. I want to put some shelving in, or a nice crazy shelving in the back here eventually. I would have to get down my sound stuff. I'd have to move those to elsewhere. But I want to get some shelving, put some games and game collectibles and stuff up on there. I want to make this more of a different style eventually. But first, it's the desk. I got a new desk. I got to put it together. Got it off of Amazon. I usually get a lot of good stuff off of Amazon lately. A lot of good stuff and a lot of good deals. And they got some gaming desks on Amazon that are just really good. And not badly priced either, at least for me, because I remember buying desks, and desks could be expensive. And it's none of that fake cardboardish kind of wood either. It's more, what did they say? It's more metal and, what was that poly stuff? It was something else. I think more plastic, which I'd rather have more plastic than fake cardboarded wood that could crack or give. And then if I ever want to get that third monitor down the road, which I've been always talking about, I could, with the new desk, I could have that room. Plus, I'll have extra room. So if I want to do unboxings or something, I want to show off an unboxing. Or if I just want to do general work, artwork, or pay the bills or something, I got room to do that. Here right now, I try to do stuff on my desk here, but because I have my monitors forward more, because I want to see the monitors more forward to me, I don't have that room. And I don't have really any side room in my office to do anything. So it's going to be a change. It's going to be a great change. It's going to be one of those working days where I'm just tearing everything apart. Now I got to figure out how to put everything together. And then something's not going to work, or the computer's going to go crazy because I'm going to plug the different USB cables in the different USB ports, because apparently each USB port on my computer is specific to that one device. And if you plug it in to another USB port, it's going to re-download drivers. It's going to reinitiate. It's going to go bing, bong, bing, bong, bing, bong, bong. And I'm going to hear a lot of that when I do that. And sometimes stuff gets fucked up, like microphones and audio-based equipment, mostly. But I'll try to keep it working. But I'm happy. I can't wait to get the new office desk built, put up, put my gaming monitors and stuff on it, put my production stuff, have some more room, and hopefully it all works and looks good. But that's Saturday's project. That's gonna be some work to be done. Hopefully I'll get done so I can have enough time to game the rest of the Saturday. Probably do some grilling. Yeah. Okay, so that's enough talking about me and gaming stuff. Might as well add a little bit of that in. A little bit of my personality, folks. A little bit of my snore personality. Games that I've played in the past week. So why don't we get into that?
The games that have been played in the past week.
That's a good game.
Enjoy your gaming.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. So the games that I've been playing in the past weeks, which I should get a theme song for that, but I'll think about it with the AI, Suno AI. I'll see if I can make a good little theme song for that. So the games I played in the past week so far, a lot of Fallout 4. I've been getting into Fallout 4, even though it's been monkeying about and effing up many times on my PC, ROG Ally. Mostly the ROG Ally. The PC, it does work a lot better on sometimes when you're not trying to do other stuff on the side, or else it does like to skip. Because I got big 32-inch widescreen monitors and high-resolution monitors. So I'm thinking that's because of that, because Windows 10 doesn't handle multiple monitors the best way. And, also you have the fact that Fallout 4 is an older game and it's trying to blow up and the images larger and stuff. There's a lot of quirkiness in game stuff, but plus, Fallout 4 was completely broken, and then they patched it, and then they broke a lot of other stuff like mods and everything else. Also, I've been playing a lot of the Fallout 4, trying to play it on the Rogue Ally, which has been pretty decent, except you gotta try to restart Fallout 4 like three or four times before it starts up. It's annoying. I don't know why it just doesn't start up the first time, but there's something going on with Fallout 4 where it just doesn't want to boot the first few times, and I just don't get it. But after the fourth time, it boots up. You got to tap it to get it to full screen, because when it starts up, it goes to like a half a screen. It's a lot of stuff. There's not really any good support that Fallout 4 does on any PC or monitor nowadays. But when I get it up and running on the Rogue Ally or the PC, it plays very well. It plays great, even though I got to do the whole take my saves from the game, from the Rogue Ally, put them in my own cloud, download them back to the PC, vice versa, take them from the PC, put them in the cloud, my personal cloud, and then put them onto my Rogue Ally. So if I want to play it, I can do that. Which is a little bit of an extra hassle because it doesn't support cloud saves because it's an older game. And why would they put in cloud saves now? I don't know. I don't think they would. Also, I have a modded. I have a little bit of mod. I have Fallout 4 modded so I can do some God mode stuff and still get achievements, which is great. I like it. It's just like what I did with Starfield. The same kind of stuff. I'll give myself some stuff. I'll put myself in God mode where I could do some stuff, and I'm having a ball with it because that's how I figured on how I was gonna. And forgive me if you hear this in the background, which I don't think you are, but my scanner, copier, printer is doing its cycling right now, so it's taking some electricity, it's making noise, and it's done now. It likes to cycle once in a while to keep it running, itself running. But yeah, I'm doing the mod thing with Fallout 4 right now on the Rogue Ally and PC, where, like I said, I'm in God mode. I could give myself a ton of bullets. I got myself tons of caps. And I'm still early on in the beginning. Oh, I opened up the wasteland where I could see where all the buildings and stuff are ahead of time. And even though you can see them and you know what they are, you still, when you go to them, they unlock and all that. It's pretty cool. But it's just basically because I played Fallout 4 like twice already back on the, I think it was the 360 still. I think 360, Xbox One around that time. I know what happens in it. And I know like the building where you got to do build stuff in Sanctuary and other areas as well if you want to build like your encampments or whatever. I know a lot of people say you don't have to do it, and I know you don't really have to, but I just do it. It's a pain in the ass still. I thought they would update that a little bit, but that's a big pain in the ass doing the build mode in it. But I built something crappy. I just wanted to get some extra peeps in my my towns and stuff. Maybe I can get some extra food or stim packs or something, which I could also get by doing the cheats. But I don't do cheats with the health and stuff. I will rather buy that stuff. I'd rather buy a lot of stuff. The only things that I do cheats in is just, your regular God mode stuff or various other things. There's stuff I do and there's stuff I don't do, but I could do anything. And still being able to get the achievements for Fallout 4 on the PC, which is the main reason I'm playing it, because, of course, I'm getting a whole fresh set of new achievements for the game, which makes me, as a, Microsoft Xbox fanboy, if that's going to continue for the future, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. That's where I like to play. If I'm going to play a game a second or third time, because mostly when I play games, if it's a game that is even super enjoyable and stuff, I only play it once. If I'm only getting achievements for the one time, I'm only going to play it once. I'll play a game once and I'll be done with it. If you're going to entice me and say, hey, you're going to get new achievements for this, playing this game on this device or PC or whatever, yeah, then you'll have me come back to that game again. You know, that's how I am. Same with anything. Same with like a Switch game, or I should say a Nintendo game. Why am I saying a Switch game? A Nintendo game. If it's a PC regular game, like a game on the regular, something that's not in the Microsoft store that doesn't give you achievements and stuff, you know, like Steam games and stuff. Same with PlayStation stuff. If I would play like the older PlayStation games, you're not getting achievements for those, but I'll play them once and I'll be good. You know, maybe years down the road, I might want to pick them up and play the games again. But mostly I'm a one-time gaming man, unless, like I said, excuse me for the yawn. I don't know why I'm yawning right now. But unless if I get that incentive, like achievements, and I am an achievement whore. I said that many times. And plus, getting achievements and getting points, you get Microsoft reward points. It does add up, and it does give me a pretty good boost in if I want to buy a game from them or whatever, you know, or a DLC or something, I can get points to pay for that stuff. Or if I want to get an Amazon gift card, I could get points to just get an Amazon gift card. It's who I am. I like to get stuff back from what I'm playing and putting time and money and stuff into, but otherwise, I still enjoy the games. I love playing Fallout 4, playing it again, just going through that story again. I already know what the story is. I already know what happens at the end of Fallout 4, which could, you know, you could have a couple scenarios, but I already know playing it twice already, because I know I played it twice, on what the scenarios end up to be in Fallout 4, and you know, I'm just going to play it through and welcome that ending again for Fallout 4. And then, you know, then I'll be done with Fallout 4 again and go on to something else. But, yes, Fallout 4 has been still fun. It looks great. It looks decent for what it is at the time. It plays decently. I haven't run into any real big glitches or whatever. Do a lot of save scumming. That's also a thing you got to do if you're playing something like a Bethesda game or a Fallout game. You got to do a lot of save scumming in the game so you don't have any issues or anything. But it's been fun. And like I said, with the mods, with the always get achievement mod and stuff like that, it just helps me tenfold more on playing Fallout 4. Because it's like, oh, great. I don't have to stress on grinding out to get this or get a level up to this or level up to that. I could get everything, all the superpowers, all the, you know, wasteland. I should say wasteland, but they're wasteland superpowers. I don't have to worry about all the other stuff, and it works out for me. It works out for me. Like I said, playing Skyrim, cheating, doing that whole thing where I can be in God mode and get whatever I want, and then still get achievements for it. It's not cheating, even though some people out there will say, oh, that's cheating. That's not how you should play the game, and that ruins the whole game. It does not ruin the whole game for me. I find being able to do the cheating and the God mode kind of stuff and get some other items and stuff and still be able to get achievements, I don't have a problem with it because, you know, I as a gamer believe that if you're going to play a game or you're buying a game or if you bought a game from me or whatever, not that I make any games, but if I did and you were like, oh, this person made such and such so you could still get these rewards or unlock this or play this game this way, even though it's not my intention on how I wanted you to play the game, if you're not hurting anybody else, if this ain't like an online game like Fallout 76 is or anything, I do not mind how you cheat in a single player game. Now, there's developers and people out there that are very highly sensitive to that stuff, and they don't like it when people cheat in their games, even though it's up to the gamers themselves to decide, oh, am I going to cheat in this person's game and get some achievements or this or that? It's up to the people. Now, like I said, if it's those games are online with other people and stuff, and there's actual, what should I say? Actual, not consequences, but actual, maybe, actual value in that kind of stuff. Yes, I would agree that cheating and doing mods and stuff for that kind of stuff is a big no-no. Big no-no. So I could understand that. So, anyways, playing Fallout 4 is playing Fallout 4. You're in the wasteland, you're looking for stuff, you're shooting people, shooting monsters, shooting ghouls, shooting... I have. Never mind, I have. Shooting mutants, super mutants and stuff. That is fun. It is fun. It is great to come back into this. Would I have ever started playing Fallout 4 as soon as I did? Probably not, but thanks to the show, of course, what everybody likes to say, thanks to the Fallout show on Amazon Prime, which hopefully eventually they'll put on Blu-ray and I could just buy the Blu-ray of it, of the season. That got me back into Fallout country. That got me back into going, ooh, I want to go to the wasteland again and have some fun. And because Bethesda isn't making a Fallout game anytime soon yet, I just want to go run around shooting and having some dumbass fun in the post-apocalyptic world of the 40s or 50s. You know, it's in that time frame when they wore all that weird stuff back in the day. But gotta love it. Gotta love Fallout 4 for all the adventuring and stuff. And I've been finding a lot of stuff, even though I played that game twice. I've been in that wasteland. I found a lot of stuff that I did not see in my first two playthroughs of Fallout 4. And I can remember a lot of stuff about Fallout 4, go figure. And a lot of it, I'm like, oh, I don't remember that. I don't remember going to this place or that guy. Maybe I did go to the places and do all this stuff, but then I forgot, you know, over time, which is good because that means it's like a fresh new game in my mind that I don't have to worry about, what should I say, knowing ahead of time what I'm getting into sometimes. And that's good. That's good to be getting older like me and forgetting a bunch of stuff. That's probably one of those good points. Just like movies. If you try to spoil a movie or whatever to me, or a game or movies, I like to use this example though first, and you tell me what happens in the movie and that the ending is and stuff, it's not going to bother me because I'm probably going to forget about that stuff until I go to see the movie, and then it's like, oh, look at that. Or if I do remember something, I'm like, oh yeah, they did mention something. Now I get to look out for that or that. So for me, being able to play games, ingest media and stuff, I don't get surprised. I don't get what's the term? I don't get. It's hard for me to think of the term now. that happens a lot with me, but it doesn't ruin my fun of any media or medium that I have fun with. You know, it doesn't ruin the experience for me. I can forget to the point where I'm like, okay, I forgot it all. Oh, this is great. This is a whole new adventure. Oh, okay, I remember a little bit of that, but it doesn't ruin nothing. If I know it all, if I know what the ending of a movie or game or whatever is, it's not like I won't go watch it or play it again. Not that I play many games again, but you know what my jest is, right, folks? It doesn't ruin my gaming fun if I do that. So, yep, been playing a bunch of Fallout 4, or at least I try to. You know, it's been a little sleeper now because of, like I said, great weather outside, doing outside chores and around the house, home ownership. It takes some time and effort. The other game I've been playing a bunch of, the Army of Ruin game, which is basically, like I always say, Vampire Survivors in a different realm where they got, like, witches and monsters and crazy stuff. And it's been a fun time with that. I've been doing a lot of unlockings of levels and stuff, and I've been going around. I've been killing and murdering a lot of creatures and stuff in Army of Ruin. I think it's a great game, and I think it looks really good. It plays fantastic, especially, if you're not playing on a PC. Well, you can't, I'm only playing on Xbox because it's only on Xbox. So that's the only thing that bothers me about Army of Ruin. It's only on Xbox and not on PC. At least not on Microsoft's PC. I wonder if it's on like Steam or something. I could look that up, but I'll wait. But it's a great game. Army of Ruin, great title. Highly recommend it if you love Vampire Survivors. Army of Ruin, they do a very good job. I don't think they're updating it anymore, that game. They're not like the people at Vampire Survivors where they're constantly updating Vampire Survivors, the game. So, trying to think here. I'm in my zone. It could be the fasting or whatever. Who knows? Sometimes my brain goes into those weird. And it is late. I am doing this podcast late because I had stuff to do during the day. So played a bunch of Army of Ruin, had fun with that. Been doing a lot of the fire level and the ice levels and stuff. So you'll people that play Army of Ruin will know what I'm talking about there. Like I said, it's Vampire Survivors, but in a different light, different name, different looks of the game, but plays very similarly the same as a Fortnite or a Fortnite. Vampire Survivors. I've said a Fortnite. Why did I say a Fortnite? Oh boy, that's my mind, folks. Another game I've been dabbling with, which I just did a stream of last Friday, which I can't tell you. But I can tell you now my prediction on what I'm going to think and feel about it and what I would have liked from the game. But, yeah, I got back into Fallout 76. I hated that game right when it came out. When it first came out and I was able to get into an early demo beta of Fallout 76 before it came out because I pre-ordered like the collector's edition or something of Fallout 76. And I was very excited for it because I'm like, ooh, an online MMO Fallout 76 RPG and stuff. Yeah, why not? And then I found out that it was a dud. It was boring. It was really boring. Fallout 76 at launch was a bore. No NPCs, no this, no that. It was just empty as shit and can be, and I just like, what the fuck is this shit? So I ended up, not getting I think it was a collector's edition. I forget. It was I forget what they even offered for it, but I canceled my pre-order for it. And I found out that, years later when they put it on PC and then eventually they updated it a few times, and I was like, okay, they're updating Fallout 76 a little bit better. They added NPCs back in the game and made it a lot better and everything else, but easily, that game was a bore. And I tried playing it again, and I'm still got that little bore feeling to it. There's more stuff in it. There's the NPCs. I fought some super mutants and stuff. And like I said, I'm going to give it one last hurrah chance of a try on Friday. If I play through it and I come to the conclusion that I really don't care about Fallout 76, like it's just not my cup of tea or something, then I'll just stop playing it. Simple as that. I'll just stop playing it. So that could happen. Excuse me. I'm getting really aggravated with my chair lately. I had the pad on my back and then it just slid down to my butt and it just was aggravating me a little bit. So I was trying to do it without making a bunch of movements and noise. So if you're wondering why I'm just squirming in my chair right now, it's because of that. But yeah, Fallout 76, I'm going to give it a one last hurrah chance. Like I said, when you're listening to this, you will not know because you will not know until the next podcast. The 30th episode of the GamezAttack podcast, and this is in the past. This is before this event is happening, so you won't know. But like I said, I want to give Fallout 76 one last chance do it on a stream, see if I like it, see if there's enough stuff for me. But right now, when I was just playing a little bit of it, just getting some video stock footage for other projects and stuff like that, I just really felt that there's something else missing in Fallout 76, and I kind of got my theories on it, but I'm gonna hold off on those until I actually do the stream this Friday, as I'm recording this, so I know for a fact of what Fallout 76 is today than it was before. So that's it. That's that. Played a little bit of Fallout 76, dabbled in it. It still kept my character from all this time. From the first time I went and did the pre-beta or whatever, alpha or whatever it was of Fallout 76, it still kept my character. Now, I had to redo everything from the ground up, but it still kept my character in it, my character's name and stuff. So it was interesting creating a whole new character again, but it was the same character, and I was blown away. But we'll see how Fallout 76 is. And then the final game, talking about Army of Ruin, I also dabbled in some more Vampire Survivors, getting them a little bit more achievements, unlocking some more abilities and schemes and stuff, and you get what you get. And I think Vampire Survivors gives a lot more than you gave them, or what I gave them in money and stuff. And going back to Vampire Survivors, it's still a very fun game to go back to and play. Even though I got Army of Ruin, which is a Vampire Survivors-esque game, sometimes I just want to go back to the 2D 10 million monster creatures on the screen. Fallout 3, or what am I saying? Vampire Survivors. As you can tell, still got the brain issue. So those have been the games that I've played in the past weeks. Nothing really too exciting, unless if you really like the Fallout game or whatever. But they're exciting to me. And like I said, hopefully this weekend I'll be able to play some more games and add some new games to the list or whatever, some other classics, and talk about those a little bit. But mostly it's been a lot of shoot, bang, bang, stick moving shoots, or Fallout 4s and Fallout 76s and stuff like that. And the Wasteland, a great place to fight and kill to get your caps. Yes. Let's see here, folks. Give me a second. Okay, so why don't we go on to the next topics at hand here? We're gonna kick off with some bad news. Just like if you were a wrestling fan during what was it, the 2000s or something? Anybody that listen to this, I know, not gaming related, but anybody wrestling fans or used to be wrestling fans, you'll know where I'm coming from with this, because there was a guy that used to called Wade Barrett. And then after a while, he went off to do. He was like getting hurt a lot, I guess. And I guess they wanted to keep him relevant in the game of the wrestling biz, and so they gave him a podium and they had him speak out bad news to people. Fake bad news, whatever. His version of bad news, and then eventually called himself Bad News Barrett. And he's like, you go up on the podium, hit the gavel on the podium, and say to everybody, "This is Bad News Barrett, and I got some bad news for you." And it was the funniest thing. It's just like, okay, he talks about a bunch of stuff, but he's like, "But folks, it looks like I got some bad news for you." So, folks, I hate to be the bearer of Bad News Barrett here, but, folks, I got some bad news for you in the gaming industry. Who would have thunk that, hey? And the biggest bombshell splash nuclear holocaust of the gaming industry going on right now, which a lot of gamers and throughout the gaming industry is pissed off, even though most of the gaming industry has been doing this themselves, except for maybe indies and vast few contractors, various areas where they don't lay off people. Whew, this is a big one, folks. Microsoft, a.k.a. I know they put on Microsoft, but Microsoft, a.k.a. Xbox Games Studios or whatever, Xbox/Microsoft just closed a bunch of developers within their studios, which is a big no-no. Big no-no. So, yeah, like I said, Microsoft shut down a bunch of their own studios. As you can see, of 3 here, there was another one. It wasn't really shut down for the last one, but they moved the one developer. I forgot who it was. I think it was Roundhouse Studios was absorbed by the Elder Scrolls Online developer. So those people went over to the Elder Scrolls developer ZeniMax Online Studios. So they were closed, or Roundhouse Studios was closed, but they were just taken by ZeniMax Online Studios, their other studio. Because I guess these are all Bethesda studios, mind you. These are all Bethesda, under the Bethesda Studios label, which Microsoft owns all Bethesda studios. They're the ones that got shuttered and shut down and stuff. So yeah, even though Microsoft closed them, Bethesda Studios head of Bethesda Studios were the ones that finalized the closures and made sure they were all closed and all. So it's between them and Microsoft, but Microsoft up on high, CEO and Phil Spencer and all of them, Sarah Bond, all the people, all the executives were the ones that had to carry out the sentencing to knock off these studios, which, like I said, shuddered through the whole gaming industry, and a lot of gamers, including yours truly, me, Mr. Mike, have been pissed off at this time around, because this seemed like a bunch of layoffs and closures that were so meaningless. And we can understand that, and I even for me, and I can explain this whole thing 3 ways to Sunday, and I understand businesses got to be businesses. Corporations are only held to one thing: money, shareholders. Money for shareholders. They are beholden to the shareholders, not to you, the people, the consumers, not to anybody else, but to the shareholders. That's why I always constantly said, and I still say today, I think corporations are the worst if they have shareholders. Now, note, if it's a company or a big corporate, I think you can still call yourself a corporation even if you don't have shareholders or shares or something. I think you can do that. I would have to look up the legal weird company mumbo jumbo, because you could create an LCC, a limited liability corporation or something, like Jeff Gerstmann did. I did once briefly or something like that. So that's kind of something like that, but the whole fact of the matter is they got shareholders to appease. Shareholders, greedy people that don't give a flying fuck about anybody or anything except earning potential for their investments. And that said, being a $3 trillion company and ongoing, well, after this, hopefully they stay that way. If a lot of investors, who knows how many investors are gamers? I don't know. I don't know how many investors are gamers in that, because you would think all the investors that are gamers would be upright going, what the fuck, Microsoft? So my thought on that is, why? Why did they do it? Because, okay, Arcane Austin, they did the Redfall game, We all know how shitty that game was. I tried playing it. I tried very hard to see if I could like it, and I was like, no. No, the game is not likable. The game, Redfall, was a bore. It was not good. It was just, it played well, sort of, but it just did not work out. It was just not a game that even I could try to play. And I can play some bad games that people don't like and I like a lot, but Redfall was a pit game. It was a definite the pits type of game. Yeah, but they did a lot of great stuff back in, you know, I could go through all this. How am I going to picture this? I'm trying to picture what I'm going to talk about to you guys on this fact. I don't even know where to begin on this. All I know is it was a big surprise and letdown for everybody. And the future of Xbox as a Microsoft product and service and all that stuff, that might be, that stuff might be in a very down the drain, bad news bear type of thing going on. It could get worse. It could get worse. And Microsoft is not looking very good right now. They're not. Xbox in general is looking like they're going down a deep hill now. I know people were saying that before with the Xboxes not being, with the whole shamoos that happened just earlier, where they were like, oh, Microsoft's gonna stop making hardware and Xboxes, and they're not selling much anywhere, and sales are tanked across the lands, and that whole thing, and Phil Spencer, Sarah Bond, and all that got up on their little fake chairs and stuff. Well, they were real chairs, but they got up in their little studio and talked fakely to their own podcaster and stuff, to their internal podcaster, had a script based of questions, and they were answering. They're trying to convince us, the gamers, the people, the customers, you, the people, that everything is just going to be fine, that they're thinking of strategies, even though they're having some hard times. In the gaming biz, everything's going to be just fine. And then they're talking about the showcase that they're very excited about, their new the upcoming in June and stuff. And then this stuff happens in May before June and the showcases and stuff. And it's like, it's got to be all the way up to the top. Satya Nadella, the CEO, the head of Microsoft, I bet had the main voice saying, hey, you guys got to start chewing the fat again, because you guys over at Xbox are not cutting it. Phil, Sarah Bond, Matt Booney, all you guys, you're not cutting. It's not working. There's something not working. And corporations want quick results, especially from Microsoft. Microsoft, if you did not know about Microsoft, well, let me tell you a little bit about Microsoft. They have a corporate culture, which they had for the beginning of days, back when Bill Gates himself was starting the company and running the company, all the way through the shitty bomber era, and now it was Satya Nadella. It has not changed one fold in that corporation, and people should have known this, and people should know this. Even the game studios and developers of those game studios within Microsoft culture now, especially the ones that sold themselves to them, they got to understand, in corporate Microsoft culture, if you're not doing a certain percentage, making a certain percentage of money, not doing as well as they would think for shareholders and growth and all that other mumbo jumbo stuff, or if they just want to just change things about, you can get canned. You can get shit canned. People get shit canned from Microsoft a lot. Microsoft has never been known as a stable work environment culture company. They move in, they move out people regularly with developers, like on the Windows side and all the other stuff that Microsoft does. They move things back and forth. They play around with this. They do this and that. They're kind of like the Google of their own dilemmas there. And if you're not meeting certain expectations, and it doesn't matter what kind of expectations that is, if it's a profit or a certain amount of this, or if they just feel like they're scared that you're not going to make quota for the next game or whatever, they're going to bye-bye, see ya, bye-bye. Maybe we'll hire you again down the road if you do well somewhere else. Yes, Microsoft has been a toxic-ish corporate environment from the beginning, where they hire people to work on projects like Windows and this and that. They let people go a lot. They have never been, oh, this is a secure company to work for, a very secure company to work for. They never have been that way. For the vast few people that have been there since the very early days, and Phil Spencer's one of those people, I think he said, and there's a bunch of others. Unless if you're getting up the ranks as a higher executive, don't think your cushy desk job at Microsoft that it's going to stay that way for your entire life. It's not the place you might retire from. You might not retire at all from Microsoft. I'm just looking at time and stuff because I'm stupid like that. And that goes through everything in Microsoft. Everything they do, everything they own. Look at what they killed the hardware business again, the regular hardware business. I'm not talking about the Xbox hardware, but they killed their regular hardware business again. So keyboards, mice, all that stuff, Microsoft cameras or whatever else they might have done, that's all gone again. Because they weren't making a certain percentage or things weren't happening. And they said, you know what? We're done. We're out of that business. We're not making that. We're not making phones. We're not doing that. And it's like, okay. And it's all because they're not making a certain quota or making certain things happen. And it is frustrating, especially for a company that hasn't been losing money, that's been gaining money, and it's only because they have to make the shareholders, because it's a shareholding company, appeased so they can keep making their money, and who gives a flying fuck about anything else? And you know what? Even as a Microsoft Xbox fanboy, I knew this. I know the culture of Microsoft being toxic, and here's the thing. It doesn't matter. It happens across the board with any corporation or company, but mostly corporations. They're all anything shareholder based, anything that it can change face in a second in the wind or whatever. That's what happens. Microsoft is mostly known more for that than a lot of other companies, and it is a bad thing. It sucks, and this time it could bite them in the fucking ass, including Phil Spencer and some people and Sarah Bond, where they just got, upgraded. They got even larger titles or whatever a title means in Microsoft anymore in the division. Their positions are higher level now. Phil Spencer's the CEO of all games, the whole game, Xbox game industry, the whole Microsoft games thing, software and all that stuff. He's the big cheese over there. And you got Sarah Bond is a whatever. I keep forgetting what they are, but executives, high level executives, and Matt Booney and all the people and other people over at Bethesda and stuff. Will this come back to bite him in the ass or her in the ass or somebody over there in the ass that are higher levels and stuff? Maybe because, Satya Nadella doesn't think that Phil Spencer and them can do it. And he might say, hey, I'm going to give you guys till next 2 days or something, or a day or whatever. You guys are gone. We're going to move you out and put in some new figureheads and new people into that. And that's all in a split second. Now, for these companies that people think, oh, we're going to be a part of these companies or culture for a long time. We've been there for a long time, and we've been doing stuff. Not everything's been great, and not everything's been, all this or that. Sometimes games have not been that great. Or if you're talking about like Tango Gameworks, which they also cut, which was the biggest no in my book. Why would you get rid of Tango Gameworks when they're your only Japanese studio Only Japanese studio, and you want, and I would think and hope, I don't know if they gave up again or whatever, if they ever gave enough shits for Japan and trying to get Xbox. Maybe they just don't care because they know they're never going to get into Japan. Because, I got to say, sometimes, like I said, the biasness of other cultures and other countries, the United States is the biggest Xbox people. We're the biggest for Xbox here in the United States. We're what is considered making Microsoft and Xbox money. Europe, yes, there's I guess plenty of Xbox people out there. Japan, not so much. And across the board, it's all PlayStation or Switch, Nintendo stuff, Nintendo or PlayStation. Mostly, it's here in the United States, and if they're trying to keep going in and trying to get back into that market, or try to be in good face to people like in Japan and stuff, doing this shit just hurts their credibility so much throughout the gaming industry. And I'm not talking about everything, because you know what? Across the whole gaming industry, everybody's been fucking up. Everybody's been laying off all these, game creators and makers and artists and all this stuff in the game industry. Everybody's been getting laid off everywhere. Every game studio. There's very few game studios that can say we have not laid off this many percentage of people. Some more than others. Microsoft's been doing a great job of letting go tons and tons of people. And this time, I don't get it. I get it, but I don't get it, because I understand it's the culture of Microsoft. They're the ones that own Bethesda. They're the ones that call the shots. And who calls the major shots? Satya Nadella. He says somebody's got to get cut. Somebody's got to go. Come on, Phil Spencer. Somebody's got to go. All these other people, somebody's got to go. We got to shut down some studios. And they got the money. It's not like they're hurting. It's not like they have to cut them because they need to save some money so they can keep going down the road. No, they're a $3 trillion company. They got money purely in the bank just sitting there. They should have maybe invested a little bit more into these studios, maybe invested in trying to get better management. I don't know what happened there. Like I said, Redfall developer Arcane Austin, even though they did other stuff within Arcane, I'm trying to think here. I'm trying to look. They did Prey. They did, they did Prey. They did, did they do, I'm trying to think here. I'm trying to look. Sorry. I'm trying to see what else they did. I know they did the Wolfenstein. Did they do Wolfenstein? I know they did Prey. They did Wolfenstein. They did the Redfall, which not very good. They did a bunch of other stuff and help and stuff like that. But yeah, Arcane. And even I said, I'm like, something's wrong with Arcane. Like, that Redfall was so bad and so badly received. It was surprising they were going to keep working on it and stuff. And why Microsoft Xbox division, or I should just say the Xbox division, was still pumping money into that, trying to make Redfall better. When you got other sinking ships within your company and other game developers that you haven't seen a single game from for a while, and you could see all those names on the Microsoft Xbox game board saying, well, you got all these studios, but what's come out of them so far? Hi-Fi Rush developer Tango Gameworks. Hi-Fi Rush, people. I loved it. I'm sure you guys loved it. That was a game that I'm like, okay, it's a music-based platforming game. I don't know. I'm going to try to it's on Game Pass, so I'm like, okay, I might not be the best at it. Maybe I might not like it, but I'm going to give it a try. And when I gave it a try, I fell in love with it. I'm like, oh, Hi-Fi Rush is really that good. It's really that good of a bomb. It was the bomb, meaning the good bomb. And it had a good story, and it was going somewhere. And I'm like, oh, maybe they're going to make Hi-Fi Rush 2. It even ended in an open way of saying, ooh, what to expect from Hi-Fi Rush 2. And Tango Gameworks, which they also did, they were the developers with The Evil Within and all that other stuff, coming out with this cultural game, Hi-Fi Rush, and now it's out on, I think it's out on PlayStation and other stuff. But them, I think they just got it on PlayStation, right? Them pushing it out, not just on Game Pass and Xbox and PC and all that, which I played it on. And then eventually now they're selling it on other platforms and trying to push and make it more money and stuff. And now all of a sudden they're like, oh, sorry, Tango Gameworks, we're going to shut you down. Even though you did a remarkable, fantastic job on Hi-Fi Rush, and it's sold, and it's been played a ton of times. It's been sold millions. I don't know if millions of copies, but it sold lots of copies. I'm sure way more than it made. It made its money. It made its money, and it did phenomenally well. And then it's like, Bethesda, because Bethesda is the parent company, the owner of Tango Gameworks in Japan. They just go pull the plug. I think did they do Ghostwire Tokyo as well, or was that Arcane? I forgot if it was Arcane or Tango Gameworks. One of them did Tokyo. It could have been Tango Gameworks because it sounds like a Tango Gameworks kind of a game, but Ghostwire Tokyo, yes, that didn't do well, but hell. So I don't know. I think that was the foot that they cut off that they shouldn't have, and maybe they should have kept Tango Gameworks running because they could have did some more fantastic stuff. But now we'll never know because they're gone for good, unless some magical reason enough people are going on Twitter and everywhere else. And truly, if everybody's uproaring, if all you gaming fans out there are really, because I know I made a few posts against Xbox and Microsoft saying, hey, that was the dumbest decision you ever made, is get rid of Tango Gameworks, at least Tango Gameworks. Because Arcane Austin, okay, I don't know. Like I said, I tried Redfall. I didn't care about any of their other stuff over at Arcane, at least not yet. So I couldn't tell you about anything else. I didn't play Prey or anything, so I don't have no connection or affiliation inside of what Arcane does. So I couldn't tell you if I would have liked their games or not, or what their people do or not, because I only played Redfall and I thought that was like So, but to shut it down still, okay. But you said you need more games, Microsoft, and you need more games to come out sooner than later, and you need more people working on games. Why would you let go more studios, and why would you let go these and close these studios and let go of these people if you want to bring more games to the table and more creative ideas and make more money? I don't know. It doesn't make no sense to me. It's all backwards. But Tango Gameworks was the one that really flipped my mind. And I was like, oh, no. Because I was really getting into that Hi-Fi Rush, and I'm like, I completed it. I completed as much as I can complete Hi-Fi Rush. I wasn't going to go back and do the more hardcore stuff, but just beating it, mainstreaming it, beating it and stuff, and having as much fun as I did. I wanted to see a Hi-Fi Rush too, but never going to happen now. Unless, it's, like I said, if the mass populations out there scream loud enough and they can get at least Tango Gameworks to come back. I'm just saying, at least Tango Gameworks to come back and not shut down. Maybe it could happen, because they, the people at Tango and everybody else that got let go, Tango Gameworks, Alpha Dog Games, they're the ones with Mighty Doom, which is a mobile game, which I'm like, okay, sorry, Alpha Dog Games, that I never played Mighty Doom. I think XNet, I played a little bit of Mighty Doom. It's okay, but okay, even though they're okay, I'm getting up my own ass here on what I'm trying to say. Microsoft Xbox also wants to get more into the mobile game market. Okay? So that's why they bought Activision Blizzard for the mobile games part of it. And of course, Diablo and everything else. Dog Games makes mobile games, or did make mobile games. They made Mighty Doom. I don't know how well Mighty Doom did or is doing, but they made Mighty Doom. I'm sure they were going to make more mobile games for you. In the division that guys were complaining and crying about that you didn't have a true mobile division over at Xbox Microsoft over there to have games on. So why are you closing down your only other mobile game studio? Besides the ones that Activision Blizzard that you took over. I don't get it. And like I said, Roundhouse Studios, I don't really know them too much, but they did some games and stuff, I guess. But they're being absorbed by ZeniMax Online Studios, so I don't think too many of them are going to lose their jobs, but a lot of people are going to lose their jobs. And like I said, the main one that I really have a problem with is probably Tango Gameworks is the most near and dear to me. I know through all these closures, they canceled the Redfall's co-op or DLC, and that people are going to be getting refunds for any of the DLC or whatnot that they purchased for Redfall, and because they're not working on that anymore because there's no studio anymore. And it's a mess. It's a mess. Apparently, there's another Arcane. It's Arcade Lion. I guess they're working on the Marvel's Blade right now, so they haven't been axed. But who knows when Marvel's Blade is done? Who knows if they're gonna get the axe next? They could be the next on the chopping block. Same with Machine Games, which also does the proper. Or hopefully they'll do again the proper Wolfenstein games. I still got to play through those, by the way. I played a bit of the first one, but I got to still continue and beat it and play the other ones. But Machine Games is making Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. So what is going to stop Microsoft and Xbox from, when they're done doing that game, if it doesn't perform well or not, what's going to prevent them from canceling their contracts and closing up that studio? It's a bad look. It's a bad thing. It's not like these were studios that just kept losing the company's money and losing face and doing really bad. Now, sure, like I said, Arcane Austin, maybe they were losing their way a little bit, but maybe it could have been put back on the right track again. I don't know. But Tango Gameworks did not deserve any of this. They were just caught up in this whole, we're going to need to close this many studios and do this, even though we're talking about major profit. I don't know. Doesn't make no sense. So that's what happened. Microsoft, a.k.a. Xbox, closes Arcane Austin, Tango Gameworks, Alpha Dog Studios, and moves Roundhouse Games to a new studio. And like I always say, like I'm saying right now, maybe, just maybe, and I doubt this is going to ever happen, but maybe if everybody speaks up loudly and there is enough backlash, maybe that could get changed, at least for Tango Gameworks, and that would make me feel better. I'm sure it'd make a lot of people feel better, but yeah. And other studios as well within Microsoft and outside of Microsoft are even appalled by this whole shutting down the studios and complaining and stuff. Apparently this person, a fucking gut stab, Arcane Line director, and other developers react to Microsoft shuttering Xbox Studios in yet another layoff wave, which they've been through many times. But like I said, that's kind of the culture of Microsoft. Same with a lot of other corporate entities that make a lot of money that have shareholders to appease. And you're not going to stop them from doing that. So apparently, let's see here. Oh yeah, they did. Okay, Arcane Austin also did Dishonored, which, okay, I hear those Dishonored games are pretty good games. So yeah, they weren't totally the worst. A lot of people, like I said, liked Prey and Dishonored, but Redfall wasn't so good. But still. And yet Microsoft said they ripped past earnings expectations with a $21.9 billion net income cap, the highest market cap in the world. It has also the highest market cap in the world with over $3 trillion and stuff. They just, like I said, they just purchased Activision Blizzard for $69 billion, cut roughly 2,000 gaming jobs earlier in the year. Like I said, not good look for you, Microsoft. Not good look. Even though I said for the Activision Blizzard thing, I bet you a lot of those were just, you got to chew the fat on these people because they're really not needed anymore kind of people, I would hope. But I've been hearing also that that's not also the case of the fact of the matter. But a lot of people have been, like I said, a lot of people have been very bad or very mad and sad and angry at Microsoft, and they got every right to. And a lot of these developers in the industry, I'm not going to talk about every person except for maybe this guy, Dinga Bakaba, studio director at Arcane Austin's sister studio, Arcane Lion. I guess he was pissed, so he went on to X to say his words. So he says, "This is absolutely terrible. Permission to be human. To any executive reading this, friendly reminder that the video games are an entertainment cultural industry, and your business as a corporation is to take care of your artists and entertainers and help them create value for you. Don't throw us into gold fever gambits. Don't use us as straw men for miscalculations, blind spots, etc. Don't make our work environments Darwinist jungles. You say we make you proud when we make a good game. Make us proud when times are tough. We know you can. We've seen it before. And here's the thing. He could say that, but here's the thing. Shareholders come first, no matter what. Even though you say that can happen, and it can, shareholders come first. And he's not wrong, though. He's not wrong. They when they see that money, that's what they dive into. When they see, if they don't want to fall into the money, or they don't want to lose money, they will cut back on a lot of stuff. And this is a part of your business, Microsoft. Artists and entertainers, people that make games, people that do that. You just bought a whole slew of new studios, with an Activision Blizzard and stuff, and now you're closing more and helping people lose jobs, let's just say. Not very good. Not very good at all. And when you're pissing off the people, and you're making it a very bad, scary, saddening work environment, too, for the rest of these people, because now the rest of these game developers under Microsoft Studios, you got the people like Double Fine. You got Tim Schafer and his people, because he sold his company to Microsoft, which, you can always move on after, but he's still, they making games. Are they next on the chopping block? Who else could be on the chopping block? It's sad because it's like, okay, these people are working hard, making games, and now they're like, ooh, could we be next to be on that chopping block? Even if we make a good game, because here's the thing. Xbox and Microsoft and all the executives over over there were saying how well these people are doing and making games like Hi-Fi Rush. They were praising it. They were praising all the people at Tango Gameworks for making a great, awesome, global game that people loved globally. And yeah, now you're shutting them down. So even great games and studios that make these great games and make really good games could get the axe at any time. That's what they're saying. Doesn't matter if you do good or bad. You're going to get the axe because we're Microsoft and our shareholders want more money, or we want more money in our coffers, and et cetera, and Satya Nadella and everybody who needs a bigger, higher pay raise. Or Bill Gates, because he's still got shares within Microsoft, and he still does a little bit of the behind the scenes, even though he's not the CEO and he's not a part of the company. He's still a part of the company, apparently, I hear. He could be saying that. I don't know. It is bad. It is a bad look for you, Microsoft, and shame. Shame on you, Microsoft. Shame on you, Xbox. Shame on you, Phil Spencer, Sarah Bond. Everybody should be ashamed of themselves throughout that corporate culture, and you're just killing. You're going to kill. You guys were trying to keep Microsoft, or you're trying to keep the Xbox brand alive. You're trying to make it like the best thing it can be. This is not what you do. You do not do this shit. You do not keep doing this shit. You did a lot of more harm than good. You tried to make good on all those past things where you're like, oh, we might bring some games to this and that, and you tried to settle that down, and you tried to make people understand, okay, we're going to try to make this better. We want to make more games. We want these studios to thrive and under us and blah, 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 all the other bullshit that they were saying. And then you do this. And then, what was it? When did they do that during that time? Then, should I say month or months later? But sometime later, you're like, oh, we're going to close off this. We're going to close off Tango Gameworks. We're going to close off Arcane Austin and Alpha Dog Games and stuff like that. We're going to just shut them down. We're going to shut down our only Japanese studio, which could make a lot more, a better presence for us if they make even more awesome games in Japan for us. And I'm like thinking, as a guy, and this happened to me before. This happened to me when Disney purchased Marvel. I wanted Disney to purchase 20th Century Fox and stuff and get the Marvel properties and stuff like that. Yeah, I wanted them to purchase it because I'm like, okay, I want you, Disney, to bring all of these other Marvel properties to Disney fully, and 20th Century was about to sell themselves anyways, and you could bring all these cool properties, you could bring all these cool things, and the Marvel universe could be bigger. And then they did a lot of harm by doing a lot of woke stuff, by just not being interested in a lot of stuff that they have. And it's like, well, they did it, and I'm like, hopefully Microsoft doesn't do that. I've seen a lot of other studios do that, where they just buy a lot of stuff. We've seen Epic Games do that with their game, some of their stuff, and that one music portfolio thing that they just bought and gave up, and a lot of other developers that just did stuff and then gave up and like, yeah, we're closing this down, or we're canceling that and closing it down. But this was your Microsoft. If you wanted to get into the game, you want to stay in the games industry, right? You need games, you need developers, you need to work out a way to keep all these developers, working good. And I don't give a shit what fucking Matt Booty says, because he says, oh, because he's the president of games and of Bethesda. He's that guy. He says, oh, we were being spread too thin. What were you being spread too thin? And people making games and people working on games? What was being spread too thin? I don't understand it. I don't understand it all. Okay, sorry, I had to take a brief pause there for a second. But back on the track of complaining about Microsoft and Xbox and Matt Booty and all the people there, Phil Spencer, Sarah Bond. I'm going to name them all. That's all the three big giant names that I know. Satya Nadella, or CEO of Microsoft. What do you mean spread too thin? If you guys can't run the studios you have, why did you buy more studios? Why did you even go after Activision Blizzard? Now, I thought that was a good thing because I'm like, oh, cool. We're going to have all these cool, more properties. So all these studios that Microsoft, Xbox now owns, they can go and dip for maybe some new projects and stuff. And we can get some of these older franchises and make newer games out of these other franchises and older franchises. And people could go, ooh, we own this now. Maybe we can cross work with each other, studio to studio, and see what games and what cool creative stuff we can create. And maybe if we just want to create new stuff, go ahead. And now it seems like, no, that's not going to happen anymore. Now it's like, oh, we're going to chew the fat. We're going to lock things down. And if you make it, you make it. If you don't, well, bye-bye. There's the door. See you later. Okay. And that is a bad culture. That is a bad workplace environment. I fully agree. And like I said, as a Microsoft Xbox fanboy, which I always admit to, so you know I'm genuine on this sucks. Microsoft, you fucking suck. Xbox, you fucking suck. Phil Spencer, all you guys should be ashamed of yourselves, especially if you're not trying to push back and say, hey, okay, if we close down these little studios, like, and I hate to say it, Alpha Dog and the other one that they moved, and then I don't know about Arcane still has a bad, even though I haven't played Dishonored yet, even I still want to. I haven't played the Dishonored games. I haven't played Prey, but maybe they could have got shut down, maybe move some people around with that one. I don't know. People are going to hate me for that, but like I said, I don't know too much about, them and Arcane. But for Tango Gameworks, your only Japanese studio, why? Why would you get rid of your cultural studio from over there? You already got rid of your what was it called? Was it something from? Oh shoot! It's been so long. Bullfrog Studio. The original Fable developer over in the UK, which they used to do the Fable games and stuff like that. You got rid of them. That was a long time ago. Now you're getting rid of a Japanese studio when you want to try to get farther into the Japanese market, that you want to make some kind of dent or some kind of goodwill to the Japanese market that you've been hoping to try to get, and you just fucked all that up. And you just fucked up future endeavors. Like if you wanted to purchase other game studios or whatever down the road, you just fucked all that up too, because guess what? Who's going to want to sell to you unless they really want to get out of the business or something? Who's going to want to sell to you when you have a very bad, tarnished reputation and not protecting the properties and other companies within your company and your corporation? Now, I would understand if this was a long time, like if Arcane, Austin, and Tango Gameworks, and Alpha Dog was making failure after failure after failure, and nothing was catching on with any of those studios, and you tried a lot of times to try to get them, profitable or whatnot. And I can understand if they were making bad after bad after bad and failure after failure after failure. I would give them like maybe 3 failed games in a row or something. Then I'd understand shutting them down. Because if they're losing you tons of money and other games are hitting and blah, 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 and they've been trying, but they've just been not succeeding, then I can understand. And I also understand that the games industry is becoming more expensive, and games being made and stuff now are way more expensive than they used to be because everything has to go up in cost, everything. But this seems like bad precedent. And if you want to earn, which you guys have lost a lot of, the goodwill, hearts and minds of gamers out there and gamers and Xbox fans like me, you're not doing a good job. And you're definitely not convincing any other people that are playing on PlayStation or Switch or anything else, or PC sort of, even though you guys got the PC market a little bit. You're not convincing anybody to want to jump ship to you or come over to you because you guys are so toxic over there. What can happen? And I've been worried. I always been worried about this because when Microsoft, back in the early days, before even Xbox, when they got into the gaming business, mostly just for PC and stuff, and they were making some games, they did some games. They shut down a lot of game studios back in the day. When they said, nah, we're not going to do this anymore. Remember they shut down Microsoft Flight Simulator for a while? Where they just went, yeah, we're done making Microsoft Flight Simulator. We're canceling. We're killing that brand off. Thankfully, they brought it back because that became a big thing for them. But for the longest time, they just didn't know what to do with it, and they canceled that. Didn't they cancel, what was that called? What was that other called that? Shoot, I'm trying to think of the name of that game as well. The other one that I was playing a long time ago. But they canceled, they had some games. They were trying to build like a gaming, like online gaming, should I say, not just storefront, but they're a community. They were trying to make something. And they were trying to get into the games business and industry via PC a long time ago, before they did the Xbox and stuff. And then eventually they just said, and then they just killed it all. And at that time, as a gamer, I was like, oh, okay, I won't buy any games from Microsoft because those games could go kaput, because back in the day, they had that weird DRM stuff going on with all their stuff and their games. They had that Windows Live stuff, which that was a little later when they had, the Xbox and they had Gears and stuff. But I wasn't really trusting them for gaming at that time. I was mostly playing PlayStation at the time, because original Xbox I didn't have. I was playing PlayStation, PS2, and stuff like that. And then when I went to the 360, I'm like, okay, they're really serious. They're really good, serious. They were on the ball. Then Xbox One came out later, and they kind of missed the ball. And then you had, the guy, head of Xbox at the time. He fucked it all up. He said some bad stuff. There was a lot of other executives within the company that just fucked everything up with the messaging and everything else. That lost them a great deal. Now you're on the fourth console, the Xbox series of consoles, and they were originally trying to get back in the game and not doing it and not getting out any games. Something like all the balls dropped off of everybody's sacks over there at Microsoft and all the game studios, because then it's like, where's all these games for the next Xbox? And yes, there was a pandemic and that hurt things. But why are we continuing to make stupid mistakes like this? And this is a big mistake. And I don't know what more to say. Like I said, I already talked way too much about this, but they have made the biggest mistake that they're going to make. And it wasn't because they did bad messaging. It was they did bad business. And they just killed all that goodwill they had. And a lot of people, gamers, they might lose more than they're going to gain. They're going to lose maybe more gamers out there. They're going to lose more people. They're going to have probably very questionable relationships with other studios out there, and other people saying, oh, we don't know, Microsoft, you guys aren't on the ball anymore, and you guys keep dropping the ball, and you're going to have a lot of people mad at you, and it's not going to be good. And like I said, as an Xbox Microsoft fanboy, I'll say this is the 15th time. I have some questionable thinking about this. Even though I'm still in the ecosystem, I'm still got Game Pass. I still get buy games for my PC through Microsoft, the Xbox PC store and stuff, and I love it. I love the ecosystem, but they're ruining that ecosystem one piece at a time. It seems like they're trying to ruin that ecosystem one piece at a time, and it's not looking good for them. And then they're trying to do a showcase talking about all these games that they're going to be releasing and stuff. It's like, or talking about games that they will release. I shouldn't say releasing, but will release, or talking about that they want to release, new games, etc. You're not going to be going into this Xbox game showcase looking very good at all. You might have a lot of people booing you at the showcase if they do it live. I don't even know. Are they doing it? I'll have to. We'll have to look. That's coming up in the news. But if they do it live with people, which I don't think they will, I think they're just going to do a presentation video. I don't know if they're going to have a stage and people watching. But if they did, I'm sure a lot of people would be chanting and booing them at that point, and I don't think they're gonna want to do that. I don't think Phil Spencer wants to go out on stage and get booed at because they fucked up big time again. This was the whole Don Matrix thing of saying, you always need your consoles on. Oh, you can't play you want to play this in a sub? Well, sorry, you can't. You got to go elsewhere, buddy. Bad messaging hurts people like Microsoft all the time. And Microsoft, I thought they were going to do better messaging, and now they just flushed all that down the toilet again. So I'm going to get done talking about this. We all know the concept. You see it throughout all the gaming news out there. Everybody's talking about it. All these other game journalists and podcasters out there are talking the same talk as I am. They all have the same thoughts. We all have the same quotes and the same talks and all that. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for anything. They didn't need to close down these studios. They definitely need to close down Tango Gameworks, especially if you want to get a better Japanese gaming presence and stuff. That just flushes all your goodwill down the drain again. And to end this conversation, like I said, I know that Microsoft is shareholders' company first. They have an archaic way of running Microsoft in a way that works out well for them somehow in the long run, even though they're fucking flushing the games business down the drain for themselves. They're a $3 trillion plus company. Why? Satya Nadella, he should be held accountable. Phil Spencer, Sarah Bond, Matt Booty, any other executives that had any big that have all the power to make the decisions, especially Satya Nadella, because he's the top of the food chain at Microsoft, the CEO. They should be held accountable. And people should boo them. People should, do what you can to get them to maybe reverse at least Tango Gameworks. I would be sure. Maybe they can reverse some. I don't know. Maybe the damage has been done so much so far that people won't even come back to these studios because they know they could lose their jobs again. I don't know. It's just sad times, and it's sad times for the whole industry again, and sad times for the Xbox divisions. I am feeling sad for all these other studios that all these people work at that are like, are we going to have a job? Or are we not going to have a job? And that is Microsoft culture, and trust me, Google does it. Other companies do it. EA does it. Everybody else does it in a way because it's all about profit. Not about culture, about profit, because they are businesses, one, with shareholders. So they got shareholders and businesses, one. Everybody else and everything else to the back. And you know what? Everybody's going to have their bad. Everybody's going to be, you're going to hear more I'm gonna be listening to more podcasts where everybody's gonna be yelling at them, complaining, going, "What the fuck?" People are gonna say, "Hey, I'm not gonna use Microsoft products or services ever again because they just keep fucking up and they're turning it into like a Google or something." But here's the thing: Microsoft's been like this a long time. I thought they kind of went past that a little bit. I thought maybe the Xbox games division would have been a little bit of a more, I don't know, goodwill kind of thing for the company, saying, "Hey, yes, we're still a bad company, but yeah, we got Xbox Game Studios. We got all these Xbox things going on. We're trying still. We believe in this division. It still makes us tons of money, but not enough money that we want." Because you hear about all the stuff that's slowing down, but hey, what can I say? I don't run Microsoft. If I did, it'd be a different way, and I'd tell the shareholders go fuck themselves and be like, "Hey, you're making enough. We're making tons of money now. We're making enough money. We're doing great. We beat expectations again, and yeah, we're gonna still close some more studios." I said, rest in peace for those studios. My heart goes out also to all the developers and artists and other people that lost their jobs. And I hope you do well elsewhere. And for any future people that want to sell their studios to Microsoft, maybe don't. Even I have to say, maybe don't. And I wanted Sega to become a part of Microsoft Game Studios. I was hoping that Microsoft would try to buy Sega and get all those developers under Sega under them for the Persona games and the Yakuza games. But now I'm fearing for their lives. I'm like, fuck, no. If Microsoft took them over, maybe I would never see a Yakuza game after the next one or another, I just said it, Persona game or something, or any other games, maybe a Sonic game where we go flushing down. Maybe that would be a bad thing. Now that I'm thinking about it now that all this is happening again, maybe that's not the right choice. Maybe Sega is good to stay Sega. And they're not perfect either. They do a lot of bad stuff too. But Microsoft, this is the worst. So why don't we get into some gaming news, and then we'll basically finish up the show. I'd hate to keep talking about the bads and whatnot. But yeah, we'll finish up the show. Well, on the next podcast, I'll get into this other stuff I was going to talk about, but it's just not, I'm just not in the heart for it right now. So I'm pretty much going to take this off the docket right now. I was going to talk about what I was looking forward to for the Summer Game Fest and what I was plans, whatnot. But right now, I just don't want to talk about that stuff because it just, even as a gamer, I'm like, even though I got a big gaming backlog and all these great games that I'm playing for the first time that have been out forever and stuff, and new games, sometimes going back to some old games, I just got that, like I just lost a pet or something. It's very bad. It's that deep. It's that deep to me. And there's a lot of people I cannot wait to hear them cuss out Microsoft and Xbox for this bullshit. It is just bullshit. Okay, now on to the Games Talk News. That is the Games Talk News of the show. Here we go.
Locked and loaded, ready for the fight. Game Talk News, gonna set the stage alight. Mr. Mike's got the scoop, he ain't holding back. Dropping bombs on the gaming industry track. Hear the thunder, feel the roar. Game Talk News, gonna settle the score. From E3 to PAX, they got it all. The highs and lows, ready to brawl.
There we go. Okay. That was the Games News theme song. As you were listening there, that was a pretty nice little theme music for that. Okay, let's get into the Games News, which is more Microsoft talk and news and more bad to good to funny Some funny, some bad, some good. We're going to get off with more talk of Microsoft, though, and Xbox games. So, Xbox, I think this was before any of the bullshit started going down with the closing of the studios. Microsoft Xbox Games Showcase was announced for June, of course, during around the what used to be the E3 time. And they're talking about we're going to be talking about games, of course. So Microsoft announced its E3-esque Xbox Game Showcase for June 9th, which I will be watching. With announcements from Xbox Game Studios, Activision Blizzard, and Bethesda are all promised. Not that anybody's going to be in the best of moods to listen to this. Revealed on Xbox Wire, the showcase will take place at, let's see here, 1 p.m. Eastern time, which is good because I think that's on a Sunday, and I don't really like the late shows on that stuff. I think it's a Sunday. Let me triple check here. Let's go to June, and they said June 9th. Yep, that is a Sunday because they usually do it on a Sunday. Microsoft didn't state how long it would last. It did share a redacted teaser image, which appears everybody was talking about Call of Duty because, of course, they own Activision Blizzard now. They got a new Call of Duty coming out, so of course they're going to do that. And then they stated that they will have a dedicated Direct 4, which is probably going to be, they said a dedicated Direct after that is Call of Duty, of course, show off the new Call of Duty, which people are wondering also with all these studio closures and people thinking, oh, are they going to make this Call of Duty as an Xbox Game Pass game or not? And blah, blah, blah. What's going to happen with that? A lot of people think yes. A lot of people think no. There's a lot of talk about that too, because now that Microsoft's turning the cheek to the devil side again, more so, what's going to keep them, even though Game Pass says Xbox games day one, who knows? Not that I played a Call of Duty game in a long time, but if one came out on Game Pass, a new one, not that I want to play the old ones either that I missed, which I missed a lot of them, just for the stories, of course. I would hope it would be on Game Pass. Let's see here. I'm just reading. So apparently at that time, Microsoft was certainly appearing confident in the content it was going to be showing off in the additional Direct, comparing it to last year's Starfield Direct, which gave a deep dive into Bethesda's sci-fi role-playing game, which arrived back in September. Let's see here. Also, they were talking about they were going to show the Starfield Shattered Space expansion, which I don't think anybody's going to really care about. Will we see anything like Fable or Everwild or Indiana Jones: The Great Circle, stuff like that? But here's the thing. Are people going to be into this? Are people going to be? And sure, like I said, they might announce that all the Activision Blizzard games that Activision Blizzard has had, whichever certain people out there have been complaining about recently still, will we probably, which I think we will, see all the Activision Blizzard games be announced for Game Pass? I bet that's going to be maybe one of Microsoft Xbox's big announcements next to after that, the new Call of Duty game. I think they're going to announce that all these back catalog games from Activision Blizzard are going to Game Pass. A lot of probably Game Pass-esque notes and stuff saying, hey, look at this. We got all this and all that and all that. We're not going to try to talk about any of the studios we just closed and all the other great games that they made, but we're going to come out with this and that. Will that be overshadowed by all these closures? Maybe. Just saying. But, hey, I will still watch and still do a podcast on June 9th, 2024 for the Xbox Showcase and probably watch that extra thing, which will probably be Call of Duty. Microsoft, still shame on you. But that's the first bit of news. Also, which this is when Microsoft, and this was just weeks ago. This is weeks before this whole studio closures. Again, Microsoft, they were doing good. They were getting some people excited, especially when the Fallout show became really popular and all these people wanted to play Fallout games. And now people want to play new Fallout games, and they're like, oh, we don't want to wait for Todd Howard to get off his ass off of this Elder Scrolls shit and all this other stuff. We want to see the next Fallout game maybe by somebody else. And then Microsoft came out, or Xbox came out and stated, hey, reportedly working to get the next Fallout game out sooner rather than later. Because they're like, yeah, everybody's so happy about the so-called blinding success about the Fallout TV show, maybe, and everybody's playing the other older Fallout games that, Bethesda, Todd Howard's people, whoever was working on the updates, kind of fucked up the Fallout game a little bit more, still across the board for people, but it's still playable to me. But yeah, they were talking about making the next new Fallout game with maybe another studio, who knows, which they could have used maybe one of those studios. Maybe one of those studios could have made the next Fallout game before you shuttered them, Microsoft. Now who are you gonna get to make this new Fallout game? Whatever, it would have been a sequel or a side Fallout game, whatever. You're talking about, you want to make this Fallout game that they were excited that people were excited about Fallout again. They're trying to look to get the next Fallout game maybe sooner than later, or get it started at least being worked on and then maybe come out. But now you just fucked yourselves in the foot again, shot yourselves, fucked yourselves, got an infection because you just shuttered few studios for profit. Yeah. You know where I'm going with this, folks. But hey, here's some good news from Microsoft. Hey, more good news from Microsoft, folks. Don't worry. There might be a new feature being tested amongst insiders right now. If you want to take your nice, beautiful Series X and S somewhere else to play games via Wi-Fi connections, you will soon be able to handle multiple Wi-Fi connections using your Series X and S or S and X, so that you don't have to worry, because, sometimes Xbox Live and Xbox don't work well when you're moving in your console from place to place. Like if I go to my friend's house or you go somewhere else on like a vacation or something, you bring your Xbox with you and you got the Wi-Fi there. Sometimes you're having problems with that, or getting onto Wi-Fi or setting up your account or stuff. There's issues with that. I guess that's something that they were eagerly willing to fix, and by golly, I guess they're going to fix it so you can have multiple Wi-Fi connections for those games that these studios are coming out with, and the studios that you closed. That's enough about Microsoft. We're done with Microsoft. We're done with Xbox. At least for now, folks. At least for now. Oh, boy. Is it hard to be a gamer? Just in time. Is it hard to be a game developer? Oh, damn sure it is. Mm-hmm. Talking about more sad news. And there's more sad news on top of this sad news because they just added more? Okay. So, also, and I never played Kerbal Space Program, but apparently, Microsoft, oh, I was going to throw them under the bus for this one too. Might as well throw Microsoft. Take-Two has basically killed or shuttered the studio that was in charge of making Kerbal Space Program and Kerbal Space Program 2, because they got the license, they bought the company and the license and stuff, and they were working on Kerbal. The studio that was working on Kerbal Space Program 2 has been bye-byed by Take-Two, because, of course, Take-Two has shareholders, and, of course, they have big, monstrous games that eat up a lot of money, and make a lot of money, and they want to make more money. And if you're not making them a ton of money, even though you're doing decent work and you're making good games, you could still lose your job and the studio will close. And see, it's not just Microsoft. Take-Two does it too. So, and Take-Two just announced also on top of that, so Roll 7. Let's see here. Let's see here. I'm trying to look at it. So Take-Two was, of course, going to close a bunch of publishers. Let's see here. I'm just trying to read this mess here. So they closed. The company revealed that the publisher Private Division will provide post-launch support for Kerbal Space Program 2. So they're doing that as the developer seemingly shuttered. Let's see here. So Intercept Games is among the many casualties of Take-Two's Interactive's layoffs, as its parent company is laying off 70 people from the developer behind Kerbal Space Program 2. That's that studio. Then I guess they talked about and they closed Roll 7 will be closed as part of the mass layoffs of Take-Two Interactive as well. I did not know, and I don't know nothing about. Well, we'll find out now. So since confirmed, the Intercept Games as well as Roll 7, the studio behind Ali Ali World, will also be closed. So if you liked Ali Ali World, you could say Ali Ali goodbye, because Roll 7 has also been canceled. Take-Two Interactive announced last month that it was laying off about 5% or 579 workers while canceling several projects. The announcement came months prior when CEO Zach Strauss-Zelnick claimed the company had no plans to lay off any more people. Liars, liars, liars. Amongst the liars at Microsoft. And that it was now going to undertake a cost reduction plan, blah, 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 blah. So Kerbal Space Program 2 was released over a year ago in early access, a sequel to 2015's Kerbal Space Program. The sequel has been met with mixed reception from critics and players because of bugs and poor performance and stuff. But they bought them, and now they got rid of them. So another company that does a great job with their properties and company or studios and properties and stuff, just because of the bottom line, because they fucked up one way or another. They are greedy and they just want to get rid of people that they don't want anymore. And it's like, well, you created the problem, you bought the studios for reasons, and now you're getting rid of them. It's such a bad industry. I would not want to ever work. And I if I had friends that were heading into the games industry that want to work in games, I'd be like, either create your own studio and work and make games from your own indie label studio and never go into the bigger game market, never sell your company unless if you want out of your private game studio for some reason, if you just want to retire or move on or whatever. But don't ever go to one of those bigger studios, because you're just going to get your ass chewed out and you're going to be not making money or whatnot. I'm glad I never decided to go into making games. I'm glad I never wanted to, do game programming or anything. I tried. I was bad at it. And, I do some good, decent artwork, but I would never want to work in the games industry because I know how bad it is. It's just like the film industry. The film industry has been really sucky, and the games industry is just as sucky now. And it's sad because I love video games. I love the industry, and it just fucks itself in the ass. And every company does this stuff, and it just one hit after another. But yes, so more sad with people at Take-Two, at those studios, lost their jobs, and who knows how Kerbal Space Program 2 will go. Watched people play Kerbal Space Program. They were having a blast. Like I said, I don't know nothing about Kerbal Space Program 2 yet. I never seen any of the people stream it because they said it was broken shit, so I can understand. Here's actually something really funny, but not so funny because this is kind of bullshit too if they actually did this on purpose, which I think they might have. I don't know if they did or not did because... Okay, let's just read this story. So Limited Run Games, which I purchased many of games from Limited Run Games. They're not cheap. They're very overpriced with their limited run on games, which hence why they're called Limited Run Games, because they come out with games in a limited fashion, like old school games or remastered games, and certain games that normally would not be coming back out or going into, in different situations. They make games, they bring them out one more time, or they bring out some cool things that somebody wants to play again on a new or older system. Yes, they do that. And mind you, they are owned by the Endeavor Group. So you can, Endeavor Group, what should I say? The Embracer Group. Yes, the Embracer Group. I said Endeavor, I meant Embracer Group. They're under that banner. The Embracer embraced them. And apparently Limited Run Games is apologizing for CD-R. Those are discs, by the way. Those are regular CDs like you used to put in CD players. Remember CD players? Or you're too young? They used to be like Blu-ray players, but they played only music. They were very popular. Now that we got digital music, they're not so popular anymore. But they apologized for CDR discs after fan outcry says it's working on a pressed disc solution. So apparently, for some reason, Limited Run Games, the company known for selling limited special edition quantities of physical video games, has issued an apology after fans complained that they were having issues playing the physical re-release of the game D on original 3DO game consoles. Several on Twitter, blah, 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 pointed out the problems, including ex-Twitter user Todd Nerd Cave, at Todd Nerd Cave, who noted the company is putting the 3DO games on CD recordable media instead of CD pressed discs. So they're using regular CDRs that, as a person like me or you, could put in our disk drives if you still had a disk drive, and you could have ripped a disc, a CD of data to play games, music, because they used to have games on CDs back in the day. Apparently these ripped CDRs weren't working on real hardware, he's added. That these were not official press discs, and these CDRs were not working on the hardware that they were supposed to work on the people's 3DO consoles, which to me is like, first, who still has 3DO consoles? Two, why didn't you think they would have tested these games before they shipped them, before, to make sure that they were working on the consoles? I guess not. For those unaware, the difference between CD-R and press discs, the former are blank discs that can record data using a CD burner. There you go. At the same time, the latter is a data permanently encoded and is used for commercial releases of physical media. That's the bigger one, including movies and video games, or used to be, because now disc-based media is sort of going away, at least in a lot of the stuff. Pricing scarcity of these products aside, Limited Run Games' decision to use CD-R over press discs is an issue regarding compatibility, as older devices with optical drives might have issues reading the CDRs. So if they didn't have problems reading the CDRs or recordable discs, maybe nobody would have complained. they were talking about the absurdity of limited run games. This is another Twitter complainer. The absurdity of limited run games choice, calling out that the company is charging more than $60 for a limited physical release, yet they're burning CDRs for some of their disc-based titles. And then later, in a statement, Limited Run Games spokesperson acknowledged that some of its customers have been experiencing issues with trying to play the collector's edition on the original 3DO console. They apologize for those experiencing issues, pledging to work with new partners to find a solution to get pressed discs to replace the CDRs customers received, and noting that future 3DO games would not enter production until the issue has been fully resolved. So I guess they're going to make it right, but still, it begs the question, why didn't they have any of these games tested? Like, let's rip these CDRs, put them in our 3DOs and see if they work, and before we start shipping them out to people and expensive collector's editions and not testing them out first. And because I can understand, because there's not many. I don't know of anybody that really, any company that really makes. I think there's still CDs being made out there for at least music wise. But who's pressing discs, or at least CD-based discs media nowadays when games aren't on discs anymore, at least CD discs anymore, stuff like that? It's not like I don't know. That's something they don't do. So I kind of understood why maybe the limited run was going the CDR method, because there's still CDRs out there and they can do it and they can make a good disc out of it, make a good game out of it, and put it so you could put it into your. But they didn't do the big thing, like test them out to see if they actually worked and not fucked up, and said, "Oh, we're just gonna put them on the CDRs and make them with the the limited run stuff and blah 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 blah, make the game on disc really cool, and then we're not gonna test them out on our drives. They'll be okay. We'll just sell them at $60+ a pop." And they're not even talking about the shipping and handling that's added to that cost. So I kind of find that to be bullshit and bad business as well. And a lot of people that buy their games, disc-based games on limited run, were going, "What the fuck? Using revertible discs to put these games out and you're selling them at $60+ a pop, and you should be getting them pressed, the data pressed on them on real discs." Plus, the lifespan of a CDR comparable to a pressed official commercial disc is a lot less than a commercial disc, according to people. Even though they said they could last 100+ years, but it depends on the quality of the discs as well. Games industry, if they want to cut corners, they cut corners. These games industry people always try to cut all the corners on that. So how about some good news? Nintendo Direct confirmed for June to focus on the Switch games only, though, because they're not going to show off the Switch 2. It's plain and simple. They're not going to show off their next-gen hardware during their little press briefing. They want to get as many people to buy regular Switch ones as much as possible, and they're going to try to put out as many games as they can possibly do. So, Shuntaro Furukawa, president of Nintendo, announced a Nintendo Direct for June that will focus on Switch games due out during the later half of 2024. The Direct will not, however, mention the just confirmed Nintendo Switch successor console, which they did not really announce it. They just said in their cryptic, weird speech that, yes, our successor, but they didn't announce what it was called or what it looks like or anything, so they didn't really announce it. So he stated, "We will be holding a Nintendo Direct this June regarding the Nintendo Switch software lineup for the latter of half of 2024, but please be aware that there will be no mention of the Nintendo Switch successor during that presentation." Because don't forget, they pushed that out. Anything Switch 2 out until like early or whatever, out spring 2025, because according to Nintendo, they wanted to make sure there was enough Switch 2s to meet demand, so they didn't have, I guess, scalpers scalp them all. So they wanted to make sure there was enough to outpace the scalpers and to sell to people and et cetera, because, you know, that's what they were trying to do. They didn't want it to be... They want to sell more Switch 2s and games than have them be stuck in somebody else's house trying to sell about 20 of them. You know, scalpers suck. But that's what Nintendo was talking about. I wonder if there were also... what most people were thinking about, that they were really having some issues in the creation of the Switch 2, that they were being made slower than usual, so they wanted that extra time frame to get the Switch 2 out and ready for prime time. Plus, maybe a lot of games they want to launch on the Switch 2, they need some polishing and get some of those games ready for the Switch 2. You know, whatever it's going to be called. So that's understandable. Still weird, and it's still kind of interesting on what they're going to show off for the Switch for the rest of the 2024. Now, they said that a lot of these games are coming out, you know, already been announced or something. I don't know. It is the end of an era for the Switch, and eventually the Switch 2 will have to come out, and but still, I would like to see what they might put out. Maybe they'll put out another Mario game, like a side-scrolling Mario game for the Switch. I don't know. They could do that. Why not? More Mario games, more side-scrollers. Why not? Bring it to me. Bring it to me. And in the final news, talking about the Switch 2 again, this is all rumored, mind you, because nobody's really gotten a good look except inside Chinese factories that make them and Nintendo themselves. But apparently, more Nintendo Switch details have leaked online about the hardware. So apparently, details suggest that the Switch 2 will support existing Joy-Con controllers, meaning probably your Pro controllers. That's what people are talking about, because apparently the new Switch will have a bigger screen and with improved resolution, and it's going to be an overall bigger Switch, more like the Steam Deck and stuff. It's going to be bigger, a bigger handheld console, and it's supposed to have new Joy-Cons, bigger Joy-Cons that electromagnetically connect to the sides of the Switch, and instead of sliding them into those little rails that they had in this original Switch, this Switch, it's all going to be done by electromagnetry, where they just snap on and you can't pry them off unless if you turn off the, you know, hit it again with some electric or whatever, or signal or whatever they're doing. And and that sounds pretty cool. Now, note, it's all rumored, but that's what they're talking about. Maybe these new Switch Joy-Cons won't have Joy-Con drift. So they're talking about that. They're talking about how the Switch 2 will be fully backwards compatible with the original Switch games, but not vice versa, of course, because you can't put Switch 2 carts in a Switch 1. Obviously, they're going to do that. What else were they talking about here? Other third-party manufacturers of Switch, Switch plastic parts and components and blah, blah, blah. People that want to make Switch cases and this and that. I guess we're talking about how the new Bluetooth chip of the Switch 2 will support all existing Joy-Con and Pro controllers and still features HD vibration, Alps dual axis linear motor. Switch 2 has backwards compatibility with Switch 1 cartridges, but Switch 2 cartridges will be different and won't fit in the Switch 1, which I already said. Just like they did with the 3DS or the DS or 3DS. Was it the 3? Did they do it for the 3DS too? I think they only did it for the DS, where you had for the Game Boy Advance. Was it Game Boy Advance? I keep forgetting. But they had like, different cartridge slots for those games, and they had they did have a 3D, like a Game Boy Advance slot in one of those before. I think it was the DS. I don't know. I forget. It's been a while. New Joy-Cons are larger and are magnetically attached to the console with an electromagnet, like I just said. The SL and SR buttons are metallic now. And of course, they said there's a new button behind each Joy-Con, which I'm thinking is just basically the on and off switch to get them on and off the magnetic thing. The dock still has a USB-C port and will also support 4K image outputs. The new kickstand will also be a damping bracket on the back for improved angle adjustment. The screen is bigger, up to 8 inches, and the resolution is upgraded to 1080p. So, a lot of very plausible rumors and stuff and like that, and I can believe it. I can believe that stuff, and the only thing that like I said, I'm not going to get a Switch 2 until they come out with the OLED versions down the road, and I don't really need to play a Switch 2 right now, even though I'm sure there'll be some title on the Switch 2 that I'll be like, oh, now you got to get the Switch 2. But I think I'm going to wait on the Switch 2. I know I'll watch it. I'll see what they bring to the table. I'll watch other people enjoy the Switch 2. But I think I'm going to hold off because, like I said, I got an Xbox. I got a PC. I got a ROG Ally. I got my Switch 1, which I still got tons of games to play on. I don't know if I need another handheld in my life right now. Unless if for some crazy, strange reason, eventually I get the Switch 2, hopefully an OLED version, and I put all the Switch, because it is they say it's fully backwards compatible, then that means I could just transfer all my digital data from my Switch to my Switch 2. I don't have to worry about anything. And then I could just play the same games and then play the new games. I don't know. I'm going to wait and see. I want to wait and see. Plus, I hear rumors that there's going to be the new ROG Ally is going to be announced and shown off any minute now, any future minute now, in May at least. And I'm kind of interested in it, even though I'm probably not going to buy a new ROG Ally unless if it has exactly what I'm asking for. It's got to have that amount of power. They got to bring more power to it. And I said this many times before. They got to bring more memory to the ROG Ally for video, for the graphics side. They got to let you put in maybe a bigger M.2 drive in there so I could get a 4 terabyte M.2 drive in there. Or maybe 2 slots so you could put 2 M.2 drives in there and have double the room for the games on that. They got to have a couple more USB-Cs up there. They got to get rid of that other graphics plug-in thing that they have and just have a couple extra USB-C ports up there, for extra accessories and whatnot. I would have loved that. And overall, sure, battery life could be improved a bit, but overall, it just needs to be a bit more powerful than what the ROG Ally is. It has to be at that certain amount of power. If it's not at a certain amount of power, meaning graphics power and stuff and horsepower to play the newest, latest, greatest PC games, it's just not going to be worth getting. And it's going to, I'll wait on that. Now, and I know this isn't news officially, but it has been rumored, would I, Mr. Mike, go out of my way, or should I say, will I, Mr. Mike, if the ROG Ally 2, version 2 or whatever, is as powerful as I want it to be, has all those, all those bells and whistles. It lets me upgrade my M.2 drives way easier, put a bigger stick in, put in more sticks. I don't know. Have those extra USB-C ports, etc. Hall effect sticks. I don't know. Bigger battery life. All that extra stuff that other people might complain about. If it had that, would I buy it? Would I spend $700-800 on a ROG Ally 2? Like I said, it depends on the situation. I'm happy with my ROG Ally. I love my ROG Ally. I will be talking about that in June for its 1-year anniversary. Same as my show, my whole Old Freaky Gamer 1-year anniversary. It would have to take a bit for me to get a ROG Ally 2. It would have to have an OLED screen on it right off the bat, which I would really love. It would have to have that horsepower. It would have to have a lot of stuff that I would then get the ROG Ally 2. Hall effect sticks. Not that these sticks are bad or anything, but it's got to have some stuff that would make me want to get it. I'll talk more about it. I talked a lot about it in many podcasts prior, but I'll bring that up again. The same thing what I will do when I bring up on the next podcast or whatnot on what I plan on doing for the non-E3 summer showcase stuff and etc. stuff. There's going to be a lot of stuff I want to talk about, but I mostly made this podcast the Xbox bullshit podcast because, like I said, as an Xbox fanboy and a Microsoft fanboy, this is not acceptable. This is just plain old BS bullshit. And it makes me sad as a gamer on how these studios just got flushed down the toilet. Sad note to go out on, but hey, the game's news, the game's everything that you got to talk about it. It's happening. It's going on. Like I said, I don't have, I have an idea. I was thinking maybe for after this podcast one, the next live stream for Game On Live, maybe it could be Fortune Street if I get it up and running. If not, then it's going to be like more Fallout or something else. You'll find out. You could find out on my website. I'll hopefully have it posted on Monday or Tuesday or something for what's going to be next in the upcoming Game Ons. Like I said, you missed the prior one because I'm recording this ahead of time, so I'm doing Fallout 76 for this week as I'm recording it. I'm hoping I'm going to have some fun with it some more. If not, I'm just going to exile Fallout 76 and just keep playing Fallout 4 and the rest. What else? For the next podcast, like I said, I'll talk more about the summer showcase, what I plan on doing here for my 1-year anniversaries and stuff like that, because that's coming up for the 1-year anniversary of Old Freaky Gamer. It'll be 1 year in June when I started Old Freaky Gamer for, this, and I did it during this before the summer showcase and all that. So it's coming up for my 1-year anniversary on that. It's 1-year anniversary on the ROG Ally, which I want to talk about and do a nice little ROG Ally show. 1 year in a review of that, even though there's another one apparently coming out. A lot of stuff. But this podcast has been long enough. I thought it was going to be a short one, but I guess when I start talking, I keep it talking and I keep a nabbing. So everybody, any comments, questions, whatnot, feel free to post your hatred for Microsoft and Xbox on the YouTube comment section under this podcast. I want to know. Let me know what you guys feel, what you guys want to hear from, what you want me to talk about in future podcasting for games and stuff, I want to hear from you guys. You could go to xbox.com/oldfreakygamer, and underneath the podcast feed of this show, send me your comments and questions. If you want to send me any comments or questions via email, I have an email address at oldfreakygamer@gmail.com. That's oldfreakygamer@gmail.com. Very easy. Just put it all together. It's at gmail.com for OldFreakyGamer. Go visit my website at oldfreakygamer.com. With the website for videos, new videos, podcasts, etc. That's where that's at. Like I said, mostly every Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern time, I have shows, mostly Game On right now until something else piques my interest and I do a show on that one game. We'll see. And I think that's it. And again, folks, ladies and gentlemen, I know this has been not one of the upper podcasts. This has been a more of a downer podcast, but got to stick together. We got to stick to our guns, and you got to stick it to the man, you know. And I salute, as I'm doing this in the video podcast, I salute to those studios and all the men and women that were working hard on games, even though they might have failed and whatnot. And heart goes out to you guys. Anywho, folks, I'm going to end this podcast. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for listening to this podcast. I am out of here. So everybody, game on, game hard, world conquest. That's my motto. So everybody, I'm pushing this gaming button. This show is now game over.
The pace when I'm running, I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal.
That's a good game.
Enjoy your gaming.
I'm an equal opportunity ass kicker. Now I'm really pissed off.